well. I have no idea how to do that from here. Oh, I honestly need to learn how to drive my stream. I'm like a woman trying to drive. It's a little bit of a nightmare, honestly. Okay. Let's go to... Where's this thing? Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Edit stream info. Found it. So, guys, Beasty and Puppypaw. Let's get to it. We're just going to have to catch up on the first 2-3 minutes, and then we'll be fine. Now, Beasty getting Deli is pretty big, because Beasty also feels really comfortable on Deli right now. Now, we know Puppypaw is a really good aggressive player as well, and he's also sending 2 villagers. Beasty is sending 5, though. Now, for those of you who might not be aware, Deli fishing ships can shoot. So this is going to be very good for Beasty if he gets the dock up, because basically once he gets the dock up, he will be able to get fishing ships that shoot, which is going to make sure that he denies Puppypaw from getting the value on water. Now, on the other side, we do see that Beasty is just going for wood. He has his villagers on wood. Let's switch over to the numbers. We see that Puppypaw does not have his villagers on wood, even though he is going for water. He abandons ship, pun intended. And Beasty gets the water victory at the beginning. At the beginning. Who knows where this can go. So Puppypaw calls it on the water for now. He's like, maybe. The scout sees them. He's like, maybe not. And these villagers will just quit a quick fish and hope for the best. Now we do see that Beasty is going back onto the wonderful world of normal trees and slowly transitioning onto gold. Now, I would say Puppy is going to have a little bit of an advantage for a few seconds just because he's already into H2. So Puppy going into H2 is going to help him quite significantly, but Beasty does have the water here. Puppy can use this H2 advantage to try get control, but I don't think Ottomans is good to do that with right now. You want to make sure that you get your military schools up and that you can start producing your units. So he most likely is not going to try to put too much pressure on the water before the 5-minute mark. He's going to sit back and just get all the things he needs to get a stronger feudal later on. And that's exactly what we see here. He's putting pressure onto the main base, not onto the water. So the fishing ships fishing over here is not just so that they can get fish all the way here. It's basically so they can also see if Puppypaw decides to go on water. Now, Beasty is finally aging up at almost 5 minutes, which is quite late in this case, especially with this start, the 12 villager start. But Puppypaw is, with 2 archers, he's putting a lot of pressure down on Beasty. So, let's go back to normal speed. We do see that these 2 archers are causing a little bit of havoc, but Beasty does not have any units to protect this with. So right now Beasty is in a little bit of a pickle. He cannot keep producing fishing ships because he doesn't have the villagers on wood. So this is a really, really good move from Puppypaw. But again, fishing eco is really powerful. Beasty puts up a little wall here, just because this wall is there for these these archers to have to run around. The moment they go over here, the TC will be able to reach them. So, as we can see, it starts reaching, but Beasty does not react fast enough to deny these. He's trying to chase them away so that they go through the TC fire again. Even if it's just a shot, it's better than nothing. But this is causing a lot of idle time for Beasty as well. Now, Beasty should be able to shortly get some military units. As we can see, he's getting a stable because he needs to. He needs to be able to deal with this. And Puppypaw on the other side is going something I haven't seen at all. A second TC. From Ottomans at least. A second TC has not been on the cards. Let me just adjust the name as well. Beastyqt versus Puppypaw. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I haven't been able to read chat because multitasking. But this is very greedy, yes. This is extremely greedy from Puppypaw because if Beasty realizes this, and I believe Beasty does. Let's quickly switch back over and see how this will work. Let's see. What can Beasty say? Beasty knows. Beasty knows there's a second TC. So even though this is going to be really good for Puppypaw, if Beasty didn't know, he knows. And this is going to cause the game to be a little bit closer than we would expect. Okay. So Beasty needs to punish this. He does have a dock. He's living his best life on the water. but he needs to do some damage because of this. Now, Delhi really excels at this stage, so we are going to see a little bit of pressure from Beasty having to build up. Now, the 2TC, it might snowball, because Ottomans does have the ability to mass a lot of units. So, I think Beasty goes around, and he does want to get some damage done. But, unfortunately, Puppypaw, he is prepared. So, with the fact that Beasty sent half of his army through, he won't be able to defend against these right now. He's trying to get this one up, but it's a little bit risky, and he might lose a villager. Oh, he's just too fast. He doesn't lose the villager. Beasty tries to get some damage on this side as well with the horseman. He goes all the way around, and he sees that the lumber is a little bit exposed, but he doesn't get what he needs to. So, over here, we see he did get one of the horses. So, this is looking kind of good for Beasty, although that villager difference, that is going to play a very big role soon. The fact that Puppypaw has 2TC is going to change this significantly. Beasty is producing ships. He does have the fishing eco. But is it strong enough to outperform 2TC? I don't think so. And that horseman should be going down because Beasty does not react fast enough. He gets a villager as well. And for the price of nothing. It doesn't cost Puppypaw anything. He gets the idle time. He gets the units. He's not looking too shabby. So, let's go back, see the harassment. We see the harassment back and forth, just in and out, quick. And Puppypaw's lead is slowly increasing. Again, this is great for Beasty, but he is not in a position where he can make unlimited fishing ships. The fish will run out, and they take a while to replenish. So this is not going to allow him to do what he wants to do, although that is some good damage from Beasty. I pressed the wrong button as well. So this is some really good damage from Beasty, as we can see. Because in this case, we can see that Puppypaw just sacrificed a lot of his army. And that is a 20 army discrepancy. Now, there is some army on the water. Is there? I thought I saw a military ship coming out. Not today. Never mind. Military ship probably got abandoned. In our case, we do see Beasty picking off a lot of resources. Puppypaw does still have a lot of villagers, but it's not going to be enough to fight against an army like this. Now, Beasty is trying to capture the sacred sites, but luckily Puppypaw is ready. He defends this one, and Beasty doesn't realize in time. By the time he realizes, this thing is going to go down. On the top side, there's no way for Beasty to capture the sacred site either. So that early advantage that Delhi has with the sacred sites is now depleted. Oh, I was almost optimistic about that thing surviving. Very, very nice. Okay, Puppypaw defending these, but losing a little bit of army in the process. So, we are seeing it going down here and there, but Puppypaw launches the counterattack. So Beasty does have this side. The problem is, when you send your whole army that way, your base is very exposed, good sir. So you might have to reconsider your choices here. Now, Beasty has a choice. He's either going to let these villagers idle for a little while, just run back and forth, or he's going to counterattack on this side. And it doesn't look like he's counterattacking. He doesn't feel the pressure to counterattack in this way. But Puppypaw is coming back in, and he's coming in. Let's see if he loses anything. I doubt. Puppypaw is focused, and Beasty is not focus firing too hard. He loses 2 very cheap units. Maybe 3 very cheap units. So he still gets a lot of idle time. Definitely worth it. And he keeps coming in and out. And the more he does this, the more he'll get. He... Maybe. And Beasty sends his army all the way back around, ready to fight this. Now, Puppy is in castle. Beasty will not be too far behind. As we can see, he does have a little bit of food that he's floating, and he's not making a lot of units out of that right now. So it does look like Beasty is also going to go castle, because Puppy's castle is going to look really, really scary. So, now. Oof, that horseman going down. Oh, and Beasty with the counterattack. Yet again, Beasty just sliding right into the DMs, making sure that... Oof. Is he going to attack? He gets a few villagers. But again, Puppypaw is on 2TC. This is not the end of the world for Puppypaw, even if he loses a bit. This causes significant idle time. But Beasty is also not going to run out of this unscathed. He is going to lose some army. Now, we do see water still being water. Nothing crazy happening here. And Beastyqt trying to get the sacred site. He will not be able to capture it because the spearman is going to contest. So he will be backing off, but he should be sending his army to support. Sending his army to support. I said sending his army to support. Now in this case we can see he continues with the upgrades and he wants to get all these upgrades and take the fight. Beastyqt, or Delhi, in castle is going to be very, very powerful. Now, these guys are going onto stone. Now the reason for this is, boys and girls, because if you get compound of the defender, your stone walls and towers and everything in between, they are now cheaper when it comes to stone. So he's going to be able to put a lot more stone things down with that little pile of stone than you would see on this side. And on this side we also see no stone from Puppypaw. No stone from Puppypaw. Puppypaw? You should probably get ready for this. This is Delhi, and Delhi has keeps. Delhi has a lot of keeps. Now these guys are chasing, and you don't want to fight a knight if you're a horseman. Think about it. If you're a horseman, you don't have a lot of armor surrounding your body. Oh, that's painful. It's painful to watch. I don't want to see him go down, but sacrifice. Sacrifice all around. This guy, Farad, he lived a good life, but not good enough. And this is going to cause Puppypaw to push through as well. Beastyqt is not going to let Puppypaw get this for free though, because he knows that Puppypaw's full army is not on this side. Beastyqt's full army, however, is. Now Puppy's rest of his army is up here, and he's not looking to do too much pressure while Beastyqt is going to counterattack. This means that Puppypaw is going to lose quite a few units, so let's see, are those horsemen going to get the damage they need to get? No, they're a little bit scared of the spearmen. Very understandable. Very, very understandable. In Puppypaw's shoes, this is the moment you counterattack, and that is exactly what he's going to do. As we can see, he goes to the top, he's going to get these exposed villages at the top, and he's going to try get some damage done. Beastyqt, however, he has the same idea. Exactly the same idea. Puppypaw celebrating, he says, I see the stone, but he doesn't realize what implication he'll find when he sees all of these. Now, Beastyqt is going to try to defend this, but on this side, it's looking a little bit gloomy. He does have a few crossbows out, so he will be able to take down these slowly but surely, but he's not going to take down a lot. He's going to be in a lot of trouble right now. He needs to be able to defend this, and luckily these boys are being split up, and these villages are in for a nasty surprise. On the other side, though, Beastyqt says, holla holla at your base, girl. And he is inside his base, taking a big chunk of his face. Puppypaw, however, he just wants to make sure that he gets the damage done he can. The crossbows are doing work, though. The crossbows are taking out what they need to take out. And on this side, Puppypaw pushes him back. The archers will be able to get all the spearmen, and once they do, these horses could potentially turn back. I feel like they are just trying to cut their losses right now. Best bet would be to make a little wall here right now. Archers, are you going to be making a wall? Not today. So they're going to try to bait them in and get them inside. These horsemen going around, going to get the archers. And these archers are going to try to do damage as those knights are chasing them. Oof, Beastyqt is just running circles around Puppy right now. Literally. That is a very big brain move that I didn't even think was possible to calculate. Those archers are repairing the wall. They just want to keep that sacred side. It's a free extra gold. So you keep that thing safe and you keep harassing. Now, Ottomans has the problem of running out of food. They do have a safe food source over here, but it's not safe enough. It's not enough food to sustain your whole economy, especially with Delhi being on water. So right now the deep sea fish are running out, but they will have time to replenish with this amount of fishing ships. We are going to see Beastyqt put a lot more pressure, but if we look at the villager count, guys, this is looking very, very scary for Puppypaw. Like, Puppypaw as the scary man. Beastyqt might be in some... Oh, wrong way. Beastyqt might be in some trouble. Beastyqt running out, he gets out. This scholar going down. And Puppypaw could potentially just push for siege. He just needs to make sure that he does get his army out and he fights against this swimmingly. However, Beastyqt is ready to build a keep. It just looks like a very dangerous keep. Because if Puppypaw realizes and attacks, this is going to be a very difficult fight. However, Beastyqt does have the numbers. He doesn't have high value numbers now. So we do see that these Janissaries are out. They are very, very expensive. The Knights are very, very expensive. And Beastyqt does not have expensive units like that. Beasty's micro is off the charts though. He moves the villagers away from the mangonel shots. Let's see. Oh, the mangonel shot is going to get one off, but it's not going to do enough damage. And this is going to be a keep for Beastyqt. And all of a sudden, that villager count doesn't look like it makes any difference at all. Now the thing is, Beastyqt does have enough stone to make another one. And if Beastyqt puts down another one, he has both sacred sites and he puts Puppypaw in a very, very weird position. Again, Puppypaw does have the economy, and I don't think Puppypaw realizes this. He just needs to get more units out, and he needs to get them out soon. He doesn't have the food though, because he doesn't have the fish. And food is running low all over the map. So, on this side, he does have both sacred sites. And the second keep is coming up. He wants to get more stone because he knows if he gets more stone, he gets more keeps. And we know what we want to do with keeps. So this guy is just firing his life away. The food is going to run out here. There are 3 deer left. And the berries has run out. The berries at the top here, still got 1 left. But that's not going to be enough. He does lose a few villagers here, and Beastyqt doesn't have a lot of villagers. He can't keep losing villagers. At this point, Beastyqt is bleeding villagers. But at the same time, you guys can see Beastyqt's upgrades are coming through. Beastyqt's still getting upgrades because the upgrades are free. And Puppypaw is not getting any himself. He is struggling with resources. He cannot keep up with this just yet. So let's speed it up a little bit because we started a little bit late. And now Beastyqt is catching up with the numbers. We can see 82 villagers versus 61. It was a lot more damaging earlier, but from this keep, we see 2 boys popping out. Villagers are going to be starting to come out. You might lose... Oh, no, he's not going to lose his spring ults. So villagers are going to come out of these keeps, and he's slowly going to be catching up, especially with these raids that he keeps doing. He keeps cleaning up these extra villagers, and this is not going to look too good for Puppypaw. Okay. Let's go onwards, boys and girls. He does have a trebuchet, and he doesn't have enough stone to repair this castle. So he is going to have to either get a market or get a lot more stone so that he can keep this thing alive. And that is exactly what he does. Okay. Now in our case, we can see that this is going to do quite a bit of pressure, but he does have the spring ults. So having 5 spring ults puts him in a very unique position. Now, on the backside, Beastyqt keeps raiding, he keeps him on his toes, and right now, Puppypaw is down to 1 TC. Beastyqt on 1, 2, 3 TCs. Oh, I almost thought that might be 4. So every keep counts as a TC at this point of the game, and this should be a game-winning push, especially with all these upgrades differences. You can see he has the second upgrade for most of his, and this is just going to be very painful. These spring ults do go down with the Janissaries firing hard, but I don't think this is going to be enough of Puppypaw. Beastyqt should be able to clean this up. These scholars are maybe be getting sacrificed. Sacrifice. And the elephants doing what elephants do. I'm so excited to see elephants. This is probably the first elephant I've seen in this tournament. The elephant just doing his thing. Janissaries spending all their time trying to kill that elephant. So elephants are just so tonky right now. And they are taking a beating without blinking a little bit. Very, very nice. Going right through, in and out. Dead. Beastyqt takes the first game.